Hi everyone, welcome back to our channel. I'm Jillian with Truly Mama, and I'm here today to cover a topic that, quite personally, I feel doesn't get enough attention. I'm talking about bottle feeding. That's right, ladies. I am here today to share with you my tips, tricks, and advice on formula feeding your little one. Like a lot of moms, I spent pretty much my entire pregnancy having the idea pushed on me that breast is best. Now, I am a firm believer that every single mother wants to do what's best for her baby, but unfortunately for some, breastfeeding isn't best. Now, while there are lots of amazing advantages to breastfeeding, and I certainly think that it is something magical and wonderful that should be celebrated and encouraged, there's also lots of benefits to bottle feeding as well, and I think it's really important to have these conversations and shine the light on bottle feeding and help mamas feel supported in their bottle feeding journey so they know that they're not alone. As always, if you find today's video useful, be sure to give us a thumbs up and hit that subscribe button. And if you're a bottle feeding mama, leave your best tips, tricks, and advice in the comment section down below. Now, even before my baby was born, I just felt like breastfeeding was not going to come easy for us. I had an elective breast surgery back in 2016, and at the time my surgeon asked me, Jillian, do you plan on having children? And of course, at that time, being in my 20s, I thought that children were a million years away, and I said, yes, I wanted babies, but they likely wouldn't be for a very long time. He said, okay, that's fine, but I need to let you know if you go forward with this breast surgery that it could impact your ability to breastfeed. At that point in time, having kids felt so far in the future that I figured breastfeeding was just a bridge that I was going to cross when I came to it, and lo and behold, 4 years later, here I was getting ready to cross that bridge. It wasn't until a couple weeks before my son was born that I received some really great advice from my mom's friends. It was actually at my baby shower, and they asked me if I planned to breastfeed. I shared my concerns with them about my worries about my ability to produce, and they said to me, you know what, Jillian, we didn't breastfeed our babies. We tried it, we didn't like it, it wasn't for us. They've grown into perfectly healthy adults. You need to know that fed is best, and if breastfeeding isn't for you, whether you can't or whether you just don't like it, that's okay. I really held on to that piece of advice, and I feel like it made me feel a lot better about my decision to switch to formula. Now, when my son was born, he had no problems latching. He got it right away, and in the very early days, he was getting enough of what he needed. But as he crossed that 2-week-old milestone, I did start to have some concerns about my supply and just how much he was getting. So at that point in time, I decided to start supplementing with formula. I would sit down with Louie and I would have a breastfeeding session with him that would honestly last about 40 minutes. And then I would offer him some formula to top him up, and he always took it. That made me feel like he probably wasn't getting enough from the breast alone. From this point on, over the next 6 weeks, we began combo feeding. And there was lots of things that I liked about it. I liked that by combo feeding with the breast and the bottle, my husband was able to get involved. And as a new mom, I didn't always feel solely responsible for feeding my baby. Over the next 4 or 5 weeks, there was a whole lot of pumping going on to try and get my supply up, to make sure that there was breast milk available in the fridge, that my husband could help me by feeding Louie a bottle of the breast milk. And to be completely honest, I always felt like I was either feeding or pumping or preparing for that next feeding session. One night when he was about 6 weeks old, he got hungry and I got him ready to go ahead and latch. I was getting frustrated, he was getting frustrated, and I thought, why are we killing ourselves here? He's doing just fine on formula. I think that my breastfeeding journey is over. And I was able to make peace with that pretty quickly, and I think it was largely in part to the advice that I had received from my mom's friends at my baby shower. Now, as I said, bottle feeding has been a wonderful experience for our family. I have no regrets on throwing in the towel on trying to breastfeed at 6 weeks. When I was pregnant with Louie, we did go out and buy a couple different bottle options just to have a wide range available, because I had heard that different babies will latch on different bottles differently, and a bottle that kept being recommended to me by other mothers were the Dr. Brown's Options Plus bottles. So we bought those, we bought a couple other brands, and sure enough, Dr. Brown's were the way that we went, and the bottles that Louie loved and is still using today. Now, we bought these bottles in 2 different sizes, and I would definitely suggest that you do go ahead and buy them in 2 different sizes. The first size is just a 4 ounce right here, and the second size is an 8 ounce. These are the ones that we're currently using, but these are the ones that we used pretty much exclusively for the first 4 or 5 months of his life. life. Now you'll notice in this bottle here, there's a little valve in it, a little green valve. Both size bottles come with it. It's not something that we're using currently because Louie's belly has kind of matured to the point that we don't have to worry about gas and colic a whole bunch anymore. It helps make sure that their tummies are happy, that they're getting the formula in a good flow, and you're not going to really have any issues with gas or anything that bottle feeding can provide if they're gulping down too quickly. So like I said, these bottles are known for being anti-colic bottles. They certainly worked for us. They're super easy to clean. The bottle packages come with a little brush that you can scrub them out with. Really easy. I mean, it may seem at first glance like there are a whole lot of parts, but they're really, really easy and fast to clean. And I just totally recommend them. These were awesome. Now, the next two items that are in the Dr. Brown's line that I used and absolutely loved and would totally recommend, but have since passed on to another family to love and enjoy, are the Dr. Brown's formula mixer and the Dr. Brown's microwave sterilizer. These are two items that I could not have lived without in the first couple months. The Dr. Brown's formula mixer is really easy to use. You can go ahead and boil your water in a kettle, dump it in the formula mixer, and measure out how much formula to water you need. You kind of churn it like this, and it gets all of the clumps out of the formula. You can put it right in the fridge and have it ready to use for up to 24 hours after you make it. It certainly keeps your life a whole lot easier in those early months. Now, the other product that I just mentioned is the Dr. Brown's microwave sterilizer. So early on, your baby's items do need to be sterilized because they're brand new to the world and they haven't built up their immune systems and all that good stuff, and you want to make sure that anything that they're getting is as clean and sterile as possible. So that was a really great gadget to just throw the bottles in, stick them in the microwave, and within 4 minutes, they were completely sterilized and ready to use again. Now, it was recommended to us by the nurses at the hospital that within the first 2 months, it's a pretty good idea to stick to the pre-made formula. In the beginning, we had used the pre-made cans of Enfamil. It worked great, but it's super expensive. So when Louis was ready, we switched him to this formula, and we have not looked back. It is the Omega Plus Kirkland formula for babies. We found at the beginning he was getting a little gassy and uncomfortable, and we do have some history of lactose intolerance in the family. So we went ahead and switched him to this kind, which is the formula for babies sensitive to lactose, and we had absolutely zero problems from that moment on. It's a really affordable formula. It comes in a really, really nice size. It's got everything you need to make sure that your baby's growth and development is right on track and they're being well fed. So if I were to recommend a formula, this is certainly the one that has worked best for our family and we're using now with a combination of oat milk because our baby's starting to wean off. He's growing up so fast, but still tried and true. We love this formula. Definitely check it out. Now, when it comes to being out on the go with formula, there are definitely a couple items that you need to have, in my opinion. The first one of those items, which I actually don't have on hand because since the beginning of this crazy time that we've been living in, we haven't been going out with the baby a whole lot, and he's a little bit older now that we don't always have to travel out for an hour with a bottle, but it's the Dr. Brown's travel caps. They're just little white bottle caps that I had actually shown to you in my What's in My Diaper Bag video that I did a couple months back, but they're $3 or $4. They're really cheap. You can buy a whole bunch, and they're just great if you want to pre-prepare a bottle and throw the cap on, or if you're like me and you like to put the water in the bottles so they're ready and pre-measured prior to leaving the house, you can screw that top on and just make sure that they're leak-proof and they'll be safe in your diaper bag. Now, the other item that I definitely recommend that you have is the Avent or Avent formula dispenser. I'm not sure how to say that brand name right. I apologize. It looks like this. It's got 3 little sections in it. As you can see, I have to clean this because I just took it out of our diaper bag. It's got 3 sections that you can pre-measure formula. You just stick it in your diaper bag with the cap on so it's nice and secure, and you can just slide the top around to different sections. So if I were out and Louis needed a bottle, I could take my bottle with the water in it. You would just pop open to one of your sections, simply dump, get the formula in there, give it a good shake, screw it on, and you're good to go. That's how easy it can be. Now, when it comes to cleaning your bottles, like I said, the Dr. Brown's microwave sterilizer is an awesome must-have item, in my opinion, for bottle feeding mamas. And the only other thing you really need is a bottle brush. This is the Munchkin brand. Now, if you're gonna buy a bottle cleaning brush, which I highly suggest you do, I really recommend one of these ones with the bristles, as opposed to, you can get ones that are kind of like a silicone or a rubber, but I find they they just don't scrub the same. So definitely recommend one of these guys. Now, the other must-need item that I think that you have to have if you're bottle feeding and on the go a lot is a really good diaper bag. I've shared mine with you before. It is the Skip Hop Forma backpack diaper bag. It's got lots of really great compartments in it and areas to store your bottles and your formula and everything you need. And what's even better is the outside is really easy to clean. So if you spill anything on it, it's super easy to clean up. You could throw it in the washing machine and you're good to go. That's another rookie mom mistake that I had made. Was the original diaper bag that I had was actually canvas. I was spilling formula on it all the time, and before I knew it, my diaper bag stunk and I had to replace it. So this is the one that we picked up. I have absolutely no regrets. I love this bag. It's a great size, a great weight. It's cute, and my husband can carry it too and not feel silly, so that's a nice bonus. And there you have it, my bottle feeding tips, tricks, advice, and favorite products. I hope you enjoyed today's video, and I hope that you know that if you are a bottle or formula feeding mama, that we are out there, we are awesome, we don't love our babies any less, and we need to be celebrated too. Fed is best, bottle feeding also has its challenges, and I salute you for doing what's best for you and your family. Now, if you made it this far, leave me a bottle emoji in the comments down below so I can see you out there who are watching these videos. And as always, if you found today's video useful, give me that thumbs up and hit that subscribe button so we can continue to bring you great content just like this. Until next time, mamas, thanks for tuning in.